Okay, take two. And you're probably never going to see take one because it was pretty bad. This isn't great, but hello, YouTube audience. I I am doing this series of practice videos, and it's practice in two senses. One is I'm going to be practicing on my drum, just for myself, not to teach a new student how to practice. So what I'm going to be doing here is different than if you book me for a lesson. I'm going to show you how to learn to play or practice at whatever level you're at. It's going to be more just me, how I practice, and I'll explain what I'm doing when I practice. So it'll be good for me playing wise. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get over the whole fear of getting behind the camera. I'm not necessarily scared of being behind a camera at this point. I've been teaching online for a while now, since the whole COVID lockdown thing came around, and I moved to another state, and my students continued to book lessons with me. So I've learned to be in front of the camera, but the fear part, the intimidation, is all the tech of learning how to record things, how to use the video editing junk and all of that. At this point in time, I don't have a video editor. I tried one that was incredibly complicated, and that kind of put me off of trying for a little bit. So if you ask anyone who is around me when I'm learning new tech things, I have a limited capacity for frustration, and when things don't work, my anxiety can shoot right through the roof. And depending on whether I've had my medications that day and how long it's been since I've eaten, how much sleep I got the night before, fighting with cameras and technology and things just not working and not knowing why, means for a very unproductive recording session. So these videos are basically for me to practice learning how to do this. So I can guarantee they're not going to be great at the beginning. I'm actually surprised I managed to get it to look this good, but a big challenge for me is overcoming the perfectionist tendencies that being a lifelong musician might give you. If you are a musician yourself, or just do anything well, if there's anything that you pride yourself on doing well, then you know what that perfectionism feels like, because obviously you want it to be good, whatever you're doing. So I am challenging myself to record something and post something as regularly as possible. Right now, the idea, I would like to do it every single day, but I'm being honest with myself and you. I'm not very regular about stuff. I'm just not. So for me, consistency is literally doing something more often than not doing it. So, but I do have a vacation. I have a trip coming up later this week, and I will be playing. My drum will be with me. So we'll see. Maybe I'll figure out how to record from wherever I'm at, even if it's just for a minute. But don't know if that's going to get posted every day. But actually, it probably won't, because, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, no laptop there. I will be in a tent. So, yeah, I probably won't be posting from there, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, I don't know why I'm reaching forward to turn this off. The whole practice thing. Thanks for enduring my intro. And if you know me personally or have studied with me before, that is a good lesson. That's a good reminder that I can talk. I can really talk. So, okay. So if I'm going to start practicing, first thing I do, get myself situated, comfortable chair, and don't have my yoga block thing. So this chair is actually a little high for me. It's not all in the camera. I'm not going to set this thing up so that, you know, I have full body in the camera every time, because that's a pain in the neck. But so this chair is slightly too high, so I put a yoga block under my left foot so that I could raise the drum to a better height and angle. So the idea is that it sits here without rolling off, and I don't have to constantly fighting. If my lap is sloped just a little bit, which happens on a lot of ordinary chairs, then I'm having to really clutch onto it to keep it up here. Next thing I do, I'm twisting my drum here because there are a couple zones on it. That's pretty good. That I like to play just for my own self. So here, I'm getting two different tones and I don't like that. So, you know, even with a really nice drum that's well tuned, sometimes you have variance. So that's pretty good. So that's probably where I'll keep it. I have a new microphone. It is above my head. It's meant for voice podcasting, not so much for this. So I did a couple test runs. It sounds like it's going to pick up on the ring a little more ringy than I would like it, and maybe not quite as much bass as I would like to hear. But I am not set up for fancy recording by any means. So all I can hope at this point is that you can hear what I'm doing and, you know, just have a general idea. So, and so I'm mostly cold right now, aside from, you know, playing a couple little test bits. Because honestly, y'all, I was planning to just record this cold, the very first one, and the first few I did, either the camera wouldn't work or the microphone wouldn't work. It was aggravating, and there are a lot of F-bombs in those videos. So this is this is me mostly cold. So lately, kind of my comfort groove has been Ayub, which is what I'm doing right now. So a lot of times my tendency when I sit down to just practice or get ready to play somewhere casual, like at a hafla, is that I'll launch into something at a speed that's probably a little faster than I should play to warm up. And that's a really common tendency for me, for my students. So I have to remind myself, just like I have to remind my students, to slow down, actually do a warm up, actually stretch. Otherwise, you know, like, you know, even though I just did a whole lot of nothing, you know, like I'm feeling a little tension. I played over the weekend, you know, like night before last. I played for a few hours at a hafla. So feeling it a little bit, these muscles here mostly. But, and then this one's a really good one where you squeeze your hands together, like really squeeze them. If you have long nails, try not to poke yourself there, but you just squeeze and then turn, and you can feel it all up in your arms, and then shake it out and kind of let some of the tension out. There are a million other ones, but I usually don't have the patience to do them all. So I've noticed that I'm playing too fast for a good warm-up. So resort to this, which is kind of like the darbuka version of playing eights. If you've ever played drumline, then you know your startup warm-up is eights, 8 on a hand. Since this isn't symmetrical, I don't know, it has a different feel to it for sure, versus if you're playing eights with sticks, you get all that rebound. And when you're playing with the whole line, then there's also kind of that cool meditative feel of single clean hits being really amplified, which is something I've never been able to replicate, honestly, since I stopped marching. But so this here, just to warm up the hands, and you got your 3 basic hits. If you've never played before, the terminology, that low note in the middle is a doom. That's your bass. It's almost always entirely played by your dominant hand. And then the high-pitched notes on the edges are techs. They're all techs. Each hand should sound the same, or as close to the same as you can get it. And then as far as technique, we change the terminology to your dominant hand techs, your non-dominant hand are kas. Okay. And yeah, I'm sounding a little ringy even to myself. Something about the acoustics, things are bouncing. So other things I did when I set up is I made sure I didn't have anything immediately behind the bell of the drum. So if